Yeah, well, it seems that there is already a violence started that people had feared would happen in the Nile Delta city of Tanta. That's about 90 kilometers north of Cairo. There are clashes ongoing there between Morsi supporters and security forces. Now, according to the Interior Ministry, crowds of Morsi supporters were trying to get to a government building. So the security forces fired tear gas and birdshot at the pro-Morsi march to stop them. Now, according to Muslim Brotherhood sources in Tanta, they're saying that the police also used live fire and there are numerous injuries. Again, we can't confirm that at this point. Now, here in Cairo, the marches of the Morsi supporters have started. They're moving through the city. We're hearing that they have blocked one of the main bridges across the Nile and they're chanting illegitimate, which of course is directed at the new interim authorities. Now, many of these marches, they're all heading to the Ramses Square area. That's where the main train station is in the center of the city. There are already a few thousand people gathered there. They're chanting slogans against the army, things like down with military rule, the police are thugs, and Egypt is an Islamic state. Now, the anti-Morsi camp, led by the Tamarrud group, who sparked these huge protests that led to Morsi's ouster, they have called for demonstrations too. They've asked people to come into the streets and protect the neighborhoods and protect Christian churches across the country. That's because many Coptic Christian churches, homes and businesses too have been attacked over the past 48 hours. Many here believe it's Islamists who were responsible for those attacks, although a Muslim Brotherhood spokeswoman I've been talking to denies this. She says it's the police who are carrying out these attacks on churches and trying to blame the Muslim Brotherhood.
And Kathryn, we can see these pictures coming into us. The Islamists have already begun marching in Cairo. They're going to meet a huge security operation that's already swung into action.
Yeah, the security in the capital has been intensified. I mean, there are armoured personnel carriers deployed in force on many of the main streets. There are army roadblocks. Many of the roads and bridges leading into the city have been cordoned off by the army. And there's definitely an attempt by the authorities to stop people getting into the city to protest. There's also a heavy army presence in Tahrir Square. They've blocked off all the entrances and exits, and they're saying they're not allowing civilians to go into the square for the next 24 hours. I think there were fears that that's where the Morsi supporters were going to head to, and that maybe there would also be anti-Morsi protesters there too, and that's why that could be a flashpoint. Now, we're hearing that a number of armoured personnel vehicles have arrived in Ramses Square, where the Morsi supporters are planning to converge. Of course, the Ministry of the Interior here has authorised police to use live ammunition in self-defence and to protect state buildings and vital installations. So, of course, there is this fear that violence could erupt throughout the country. But at the moment, Cairo itself is fairly quiet. People are staying home and bracing themselves for what may happen later.